Thank you, everyone. I will tell you briefly about Bangkok Challenge Initiative and Perspective. In fact, I became governor about 2 years. My background is civil engineering, so I have limited knowledge on city planning. So with engineering classes, usually look at building infrastructure, train, road. But when we become governor, things change. We need other lanes to the cities too. And that's important that we gather here today and then share our experience and knowledge. Okay, when we talk about the future cities, right? I mean, this is a Hua Lamphong station, an old train station, right? And we move to the new location, and we have a big plan for new infrastructure. Maybe in 2050, we look at building the high-rise new complex. That's the vision for the future. But is it the right thing to look? Yeah, in the macro level, you need to look something like big infrastructure. But in the same picture, when you look at the micro level, you see the real cities in it. In this picture, when you look at the right-hand corner here, and this is the picture that we see daily. So it's the people, the homeless people in the city. So what is a city but the people? Shakespeare put it like 300 years ago. So I think it's important that we have to be people-centric, not technology-centric. And it's important to empathize with the people. So that one thing that we have to change, like me as an engineer, we have to change the way we look at the city, not as only infrastructure, but look at the people who live in it. And Joe Ito, as I mentioned in my opening remarks, I think he's a director of MIT Media Lab, and he wrote a book called Whiplash. He wrote in 2016 about the future of the world, what will drive the future of the world. So before we talk about 2050, maybe we get some idea from him. Right? So the future will change a lot because of asymmetry. There will be a lot of inequality. People maybe have knowledge, have technology, have power, but more complex and more uncertainty. And there's 10 guiding principles. The one that I mentioned is this one. In the future, compass will be more important than maps, because map will be obsolete once you create it. Things change so quickly, right? So what we are doing today, hopefully we don't do the map, but we developing the compass, the direction for the future. Because when you look at the 2024 to 2050, there are many routes. There's not one way. But what we need, not the real map, not the detailed map, but we need the compass, where we would like to be. And sometimes we might get away from the shortest path, but we need to come back by the right compass. So hopefully the policy dialogue today will discuss about what compass should be developed for the future. And when you talk about resilience, what does it mean, resilience? I think it means that when something happens, it will come back to normal quickly. So we call it negative feedback. But if something happens and then it gets worse with the positive feedback, that's not good. And I think in Bangkok we can see that many times, like flooding. Maybe you have flood, and then things get worse, out of control, and then affect many things. Like we have the big flood 10 years ago, 2014, and with that flood it affects whole economy. So that's not resilient. So I think we need to develop the system that help improve the resilience. I mean, this one maybe like 90 years ago, and even 10 years ago, we still have the same problem, flooding things. So this is what we will face in the future. So what is the threats that we are facing? Definitely climate change, one key thing, right? Natural disaster follow from climate change. Pandemic like COVID will happen again, for sure. Economic crisis, I think we are facing it right now. Even domestic problem, conflict, political conflict. So all these are major threats in the future that we have to prepare for the resilience. But what do we need to prepare? I think there are three things that we need to focus on. The strategy. Strategy is like compass for us, and then infrastructures. And the most important thing will be human capital, because they are the ones who really implement or got affected from these things. So there are three things that I think we need to focus on. For the strategy, I think to develop the strategy for 2050, I like the book by General Rommel. He talked about, because we talk about strategy a lot of time. When you are governor, you are CEO, leader, you talk about strategy. But what is strategy? What difference between strategy and slogan? Sometimes it's a slogan, not a strategy. So I think there are three elements that we need to look at it. You have to be a diagnosis. You have to know what's going on, what's the situation, and you have to need a guiding policy, and you need the coherent action plans. Without action plans, it's not strategy. It's just a slogan, I think. So many times the city end up having nice slogan, but no action plan, no coherent action plan. So that was sometimes missing from the strategy. So hopefully, but I mean, we might not need the long-term action plan. We might need plan for the 3 or 5 years and then plan adjusted. But we need these three things. So when you look at Bangkok, right? What's the diagnosis of the situation? What would be our vision for the future? I think I like this book, but I think many city planners wouldn't like this book because in this book he said market will drive city, not city planner. So he's extreme on the market driven. But he said cities are primarily labor markets. We are here because there are jobs, there are economy, right? If there are no jobs, no business, we don't need to be in the city. We can be anywhere. But cities are primarily labor markets, so we need good jobs. And I think Professor Glaser from Harvard put it well. He said, in order to success, city needs human capital. You need to be able to create, retain, or attract talents to your cities. Without talents, difficult to have a city that prosper. So you must be able to retain your talents or even attract talent from somewhere else. So that's a keyword. So I think in the future, the city will face this war, talent wars. You will fight to at least retain your own talents, not to leave Bangkok to work in Hong Kong or in US or in Japan. So talent war coming for sure. And you can see it. You can see visas, talent visa in every country, I think. And even Japan, Singapore, UK, UAE, Australia, China, they have talent visas. You have talent, you can come and work much conveniently. But that's not enough. I think visa itself not enough to attract talent to the city. Right? Example that I have, I mean, when I became governor in Bangkok, there's no dog parks. The parks in Bangkok usually don't allow dogs. No dogs. You just come and dog live outside. Because maybe we have too many stray dogs, so we're not familiar bringing our own dog to the park. And then when I became governor for about 6 months, we opened a dog park in Bangkok. Maybe have you been there? Been Jakiti Park? If you live in Bangkok, you see we have a big park for dogs. And the first weekend we opened, there are like 1,500 dogs visit the park, and 5,000 people come enjoying other people's dogs. And after that day, the opening, about 2 weeks, I went to the American Chamber of Commerce dinner, and at the end, there's one CEO of the American company. He came and he oh, thanks so much for the dog park. Thanks so much. So I asked him how many dogs you have. He said he doesn't have any dogs. But because of the dog park, he can convince 2 best engineers from Japan to come to work in Thailand, want to work in Bangkok. You see, talents they can choose, and they will choose in the livable city, in the city a good quality of life. So that's a simple example that the policy and will have effect of the attracting talents. So I think that's, and Bangkok, I think we have 2 numbers. I always mention this, since I was running for the campaign. Number 1 and number 98. So I think these 2 different numbers, but important for us. Number 1 is we are the most visited city in the world, according to Mastercard last year, 23 million people. But on the livability index by EIU, Economist Intelligence Unit, we are number 98 from 140 cities around the world. So people come here for short term, they enjoy the chaos, the chaotic environment, but they don't want to stay long. If you stay long, number 98, the quality of life. So this is not good for us, right? Because it means that we are not livable. So that's from the diagnosis of the number and the situation. So and this is the ranking. So go into detail. Singapore number 33, Hong Kong 54, number 78, Bangkok 98. Right? So we go into each detail and each category. So our vision from this diagnosis is quite simple. We just want to be a livable city for all. So that's our vision maybe in 2050. Because that's the most important is a people-centric vision, and it's important for the survival of our future. And then from this, what will happen? What is your guiding policy for this? Right? Because you have diagnosis, we create vision. We cannot only do infrastructure or engineering thing. There are many areas that are important for the livability, including environment, health, mobility, safety, management, transparency, economy, society, and learning or education. So there are 9 guiding policies on the second level of strategic development. And with this 9 guiding policy, we have action plans. We have like 226 action plans. So when I ran for the governor, I announced this 226 plan. People thought I was crazy that have so many plans. But that's so important for implementing the strategy. Because once we have action plan, everybody can know their works and everybody can work in a coherent action to get the results. So these are the key things that we develop for the future. So hopefully in our dialogue, we can have some plans, some coherent plans that not only 1 or 2, but many of them. I think the more the better, because you can have people joining together. So our goal in 2027, we try to be in the top 50, from 98 to 50. Not easy. Last year we still remain the same, 98. But I think the problem will be about the security things or the politics. Hopefully this year will get better and we can improve on the ranking. So I think the strategy will be key thing for the future. The second one would be infrastructure, right? When I became governor, people ask me, what is your mega project? What train line will you build? You build more train line? What is a mega, $1 billion project that you build? I said, nothing. I will build no mega project for my first 2 years. Why? I think when you look at the cities, right, it's like our body, it's like our blood system. So they have an arterial vein, and then you have a capillaries, right? So comparing to the infrastructure, I think mega project look like artery vein, big investment, big blood system. Capillary are small thing, but capillary is as important as the artery and vein, right? But as a politician, sometimes we invest a lot on mega project, but we neglect the capillaries, which even more, like in the blood system, you have like 20,000 kilometers of artery and vein, and you have 80,000 kilometers of capillaries. And the system as good as the weakest link. You might have nice train, like in Phra Khanong, Bang Na area, you have nice BTS, right? But the walkway is poor, so the system is broken. So we should focus more on, for Bangkok situation, on the capillary system too, right? When I look at mobility, right? We're gonna have 266 kilometers of train in the near future in a few years. We're gonna have as much as the rainbow colors of the train. Sometimes we forgot what color is it. So many train line, mega project investment, billion of Thai baht. Okay, you have so many train, right? But when you look at the walkway, the capillary for transportation, you have to wait on the train. It's my Soi Thong Lo. I took the train 10 minutes from work, right, and had to wait 15 minutes for the motorcycle taxi to get to my house. So the capillary weak, and end up you break at the weakest link. You at the walkway, right? Common for Thai, for Bangkokian, you can see this everywhere. We have 6,000 kilometers of pedestrian footpath, poor condition. We invest so much on the train, billion Thai baht, but we forget to invest small amount of money in investment on these small things and make the system weak. So now we're improving the walkway more, invest more on the walkway. I think one train line can improve all footpath in Bangkok, save investment. And then even for the wheelchair to accessible for the wheelchair too. Something like paint, improving walkability. The same street, but you don't need much investment, just paint, and you can get the walkway maybe better for transportation, or maybe more investment like a skywalk, or even the bike sharing, bike lane. Very minimal investment. The bike sharing, we don't need any investment. The private sector do it, but this improve. The park, right? We have big park in CBD, big investment. but the park in the community very poor managed, you know. So we need to have, and this small park more important than the big park because not everyone is afford to come to the big park every day. They want the park that they can walk maybe 15 minutes and enjoy small green area. So we improve on planting the tree. So we announced a 1 million tree campaign. When I became governor 2 years ago, we announced 1 million tree campaign, and people laugh, you know, how are you going to plant 1 million tree? Who's going to plant it? 2 years, we already planted 900,000 trees. So nearly got to the mark. And it's true because everything we put the QR code and we register online. So we know exactly which plant. So we increase the target to be 2 million trees. And we do like 15 minutes park around Bangkok. We need 500 parks to get to this point, 15 minutes park. Now we did 100 parks already, so we're gonna have more parks, small parks. So this is the capillary thing for the city. Important as much as the big park in the CBD, right? So this is the target that we put on the capillary thing, you know, like. So we put the target for our district to do, and then they are implementing it. So this is the plan that we give them to improve our livability in the district level. And I say sometimes politicians like me focus on the mega project, you know. We want to invest billion because it's sexy. So now you're gonna build new train line, 10 billion investment, people were so happy. But I think that's a big problem. It's a paradigm that we need to shift, focus more on the small thing, capillary thing to the cities. And some say that weak capillaries lead to inequalities, you know, because when you have weak capillary, only people who can afford to live on the artery get the benefit and then create more inequality. But on the other hand, maybe because of inequality, it leads to weak capillaries. We don't listen to small people. We listen to only important guy who stay on the artery system. You know. So there may be the problem that we have to change our mindset on this. The last one will be human capital. I think this is very important. I think we need to focus on this too. Because many of the problems we have come from us, you know, from the people, the city, like the garbage, the sewage, come from our behavior. So I'm lucky to have chance to listen to one lecture. Yeah, I think by Professor Minouche Shafeek. She's used to be director of the LSE, and she wrote a book about the social contract, you know, the norms and rules governing how political, legal system, economic, community collaborate. I think this is even more important than laws and regulation, you know. The way we should treat one another, how we should treat our citizens, and how the citizens should be responsible for their own cities. How can we create the city that promote social contract? We cannot enforce social contract by laws, by arresting everyone who throws the garbage, you know. How can they know by themselves that this is the right way to behave? And I think that's important thing that we have to try to improve that. The key thing for the contract will be trust, you know. Next slide. Okay. So I think maybe when we talk about city planning, we don't mention much about trust. But I think that's the essence of the city. The city that have trust among people, among citizens, with the government, that city can prosper. But without trust, difficult to live, difficult to go together. You know. And I think that's the problem that when I became governor 2 years ago, we don't have trust in the city. People don't trust us, and we even don't trust our citizens. You know. So big barrier. So how can we improve the trust? How can we plan the city that create trust among people? You know, I think there are many things like, as I said, people centric would be one thing. People should feel that you focus on them, not focus on the bureaucracy or something else. You know, you should be transparent, fair, technology driven, empower, efficient, and competent. So if you can do this, if the government can do this, I think you can bring trust from the people. And I think your city planning will be much easier, and you get more collaboration among people. And when I came, I wondered how can I improve trust among people, you know. So one thing is to use technology. Because I mean the bureaucracy kills trust, You see, we have a pipeline. We have like citizens, governor, deputy governor, long line of command. If people want to get something improved, usually I go running every morning at Lumpini Park. There'll be someone waiting for me there, and send me the letter. Governor, please fix this. There's some like garbage not collecting for a long time. Please fix this. So I got the letter. I sent to my deputy governor, and my deputy governor go to his like deputy long line. It's a pipeline, and usually it takes forever, and it kills trust from the people. Because it's very inefficient, right? Look at normal letter to me. You need like 7 signatures before they reach me. That's normal. That's nothing important. You still need 7 signatures, 15 days to reach my desk. And I don't know whether the one who sign understand what or read the letter or not. They just sign. So that's normal bureaucracy, and it kills trust because it's inefficient, right? And in private sector, they don't use this pipeline anymore. They use platform. So they transform pipeline to platform. That if you have demand, you throw it to the platform, and people will serve you. So then don't need hierarchy. So we create simple tools, right? Simple tools called Happy Fongdu. The meaning nothing, it's Fongdu, it means Thai. Fongdu, it means like you inform do, not the Fongdu food, it's Fongdu, it's like you complain in Thai. Happy, I don't know where it come from. The small simple thing, it's like a smartphone, right? You take picture of the problem in the city. Okay, you have garbage, you have silver that got clogged, you have problem street light went out. You took picture and you complain. Come and fix it. It's been there 3 years, something like that, and you send it with the GPS location. You know exactly where this should be sent to. So it's sent directly to the district responsible for the problem. So we categorize it, and so what happened is like this. So I mean, this is smart city. This is a true smart city because we don't need to invest on CCTV. We use our people to be our sensors. They buy the smart themselves. We don't pay for the camera, so they pay for the camera. We have 10 million cameras, and we don't even pay for their Wi-Fi. They pay for the Wi-Fi for the connection. So we just the receiving end. So citizen our sensors, so they report problem for us, and this is true people-centric. Because it don't affect their life, they want take picture and send us. So they will send us the thing that matters to them. So it's really people-centric because it responds to their needs, right? And this is what happened. This is the platform. This is Bangkok right here, and all these are individual problems that they report to us. The first day, 1st of June, 2 years ago, we launched this application, and we got 20,000 complaints in one day. It crashed our website because we don't expect that many complaints. And our staff shocked because they never get direct complaint from the people. Usually they look at me and wait for my direction, but now they have to look at the people. ขออนุญาตใช้เวลาหน่อยนะไม่เป็นไร because it's my only chance to talk to you, so let me spend some time. Okay, you can be start early to stand. Okay, and you can see all these problems. In the first day, like 20,000 complaints, and the staff got shocked. They never this because usually when they get a letter, they can hide it somewhere. But now you can go and click, and you know exactly how long the problem is there, and who responsible, and why it's not solved. And if it's solved, what's the feedback from the people. And until yesterday, 2 years and something, 2 years and 1 week, we got 612,000 complaints. 600,000 complaints, and we fixed nearly 500,000 of them. And we send to other departments because maybe police, maybe they complain and not belong to us. We send to police, to water, or to electricity, 100,000 of them. So that's a lot. And then this one really changed, and I think I call this one a trust protocol. I explain why. Next slide, please. And we got the rating. So each point we know how well they respond. So now our staff, they don't look at me anymore. They look at the application and look how can they serve people better. And we support them. We give the direction, and now they change the way they do business. They have people look at the need the people, and then change the way. So not governor centric, though people centric. They look at the people and solve the problem. This small thing usually take years to fix. Sometimes they take weeks, days to fix. And people were so amazed, were so happy with that. And usually the first month is like we get 61,000 complaints, and now average about 25,000 complaints. And we fix them. And we really improve our performance. And then when you look at the time that people report, 61% report out of office hours. Because when they go back home, they see the problem, right? In 8 to 4, only 39%. So if we don't do the platform, we will do only normal phone call operator, we can get only this complaint. But with this, we expand our service. We reduce friction for the people to complain. And look at the performance. The first month, the average time to solve the problem is 2 months per case. After 2 years, average time is 2 days. Because we change the way we look at the people. Right? And then I think, as I said, next slide please. I told my staff, and then this one is very democratic because you cannot tell which one is governor's friend on this complaint. If my friend complain, I say use traffic from do more efficient than telling me, because people our team look at the traffic from do more than waiting for my command. And this one is very democratic. People treat fairly on this platform. You don't need to know anyone. You don't need to have connection. And I think I told my team that this one doesn't show your problem. It doesn't show that you bad in providing service. It shows the trust the people have in you. If they don't have trust, they won't take pictures, write complaint, and send it to you on their own expense. Because they trust that you will solve the problem for them. And this one is what I call trust protocol. And I think with this thing, we do people-centric. We have more trust among us between the BMA and the people. And lots of cooperation come afterwards. And that really make the city better. You get solution, you get people coming together. So these are some simple things. And it costs us nothing. The platform was done by the government long time ago. Nobody used it. But we took the platform. The investment is the same, but we did it faster. Instead of 1 year, we fixed it in 1 month, 2 days. So no investment, but really change the way we doing business in the city. Next slide, please. And I think the last thing would be for human capital, not only the individual citizen, I think the collaboration is important. So I think we need collaboration in the quadruple helix, government, academic, industry, and citizen combined together. With this helix, I think make city much stronger. Example that we have lots of PM2.5 problems like last year. So individual, they start planting tree. Which one planting tree? At least they can have something to screen the PM2.5. And then for the academic, now they do analysis where the PM2.5 come from the burning or come from the internal combustible engine. So academic help on the analysis of the PM2.5. And the industry, they improve the quality of the gasoline, reducing the, improving that less PM2.5 released from the gasoline, including to be Euro 4 and Euro 5. Next slide, please. And the government, we change our truck to be like EV car. So I think one problem, if everyone come together as a collaboration, I think we can provide better solution for the city. So I think that's our line. So nothing too fancy, nothing too complicated. Just simple thing, people-centric, focus on small things. But the big thing also important, have to go hand in hand. I think together we can make Bangkok a livable city for all. Thank you very much.